bridesmaid of 1984 desperately wants a larger piece of the wedding cake in 1985. East Fremantle have their sights set on this year's flag, and under Ron Alexander have been hard at work pre-season to achieve this goal. Alexander is the last playing coach in Western Australia, and his on-field performance will have a big bearing on the Sharks' success or failure this year. The club is obviously delighted with the return of Brian Peake, and his ability and experience should go a long way to helping Alexander and the team achieve the success that they were unable to last year.
Right, yes, the hard work was done, and of course over the last couple of weeks, I think 3 games in all, I saw, as I mentioned earlier, talking with Don Haddo, East Fremantle and South Fremantle, playing on that pretty rugged oval down at Wagen yesterday afternoon in pretty warm conditions, pretty blustery and gusty, and I don't think East Fremantle really want to be there, Ron, but maybe we won't talk about that too much. There was a lack of probably endeavour, but maybe something to do with tiredness or weariness or enough football in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, we don't want to offer any excuses. South run very hard and played exceptionally well. And we didn't, so we've had a look at that this morning. But
some of the younger blokes showed a bit yesterday. Some of the older fellas maybe let you down in terms of that endeavour, but I thought some of the youngsters, the Bellottis and what have you, really showed something. Joe Lawrence went through Stephen Michael at one stage too, but showing some pretty good old-style East Fremantle endeavour.
Yes, well, Joe Lawrence is a tough customer. He likes to play his football hard, and John Bellotti came on and he's a very skillful player, John. Perhaps needs to stay in the game just a little bit longer. He flashes in and flashes out, but he's been a big improvement this year. All
right, before we go to Harvey Deegan, I know he's got a question for you. You noticed there at the start of this particular segment we had some highlights from that clash, and we might talk about that too. East Fremantle and Richmond had your chances to win. Let's have a look at see some highlights from that game and have a talk about them following that.
In fact, they're probably finding the conditions here at VFL Park tonight quite to their liking. A shot at goal and putting it through as Bushell. That's a good snapshot.
The full forward zone. Baxter's there, couldn't hold the mark. The ball hits the ground. There's a chance for Kerr. He snaps. It's good. It's a goal. Centre half forward. It's too long off the top of the pack. Here's a chance now for Richmond to pick the ball up. Running in this time is Larkins to an open goal. Fires. It looks good. It's a goal.
Yes, oh, it's yours, mate. Down to Green. Nobody wanted that one. Now a chance for Larkins again. He kicked the last goal for the Tigers. Can he make it 2 in succession? That's not bad. He's stopped it, I think. Yes, he has.
That time by Waterson down towards the forward pocket. Snap for goal by Peake. And the ball is going close. Kicked off the ground. It'll be a goal. And it kicked off the ground by Wilson.
Kicks the ball high and long. Looking for Alexander. He's got it. Oh, what a kick.
They went down like 9 pence. Foreman backing out well, gave the hand pass to the wrong man to an end. They've got a goal out of it.
Pass, and here takes it. He'll give it over to Roach. Roach going goalwards once more. He's gone for a hand pass into the square, and a chance down there for a goal coming up through James. That's his first.
Only a kick by Eustace, the centre half back, finally picked up by Anir. Weaves his straight through the back beautifully. A long shot at goal. And what's the result?
Goal.
It's a goal.
Kept in play. A chance for Bushell. Oh, he skids over. It must have been watered here. Of course, we did have a lot of rain on Saturday. He has a flying shot at goal and has put it through for full points. That's a great shot.
Ball thrown away by Zakowski down there towards the goals, but a fumble by Francis. Alexander can kick it off the ground. He's gone through for a goal.
I guess he won't score with that kick, though. A long one down towards half forward. Now there's a chance for Barry Rawlings. Rawlings steadies and shoots. They want one here, and he's just about got it, I think. Rawlings, he has.
In East Fremantle because they just could not even look like punching that ball away.
Michael Roach, 15 metres out from goal. He doesn't miss those. 4 goals to Roach.
Righto, before we talk to Ron Alexander, looking at the side, let's have a look at some debits and credits from East Fremantle, who's come, who's gone, and we see the debits. Shane Ellis to Essendon, played reserves, I believe, yesterday. Cassidy, Victoria, Taylor, Swan Districts, Johnny Clayson overseas. Johnny Nolan has retired, that's a pity. Leeson has gone to Del Wallanu, and Sterrett is unavailable. From the credit side, we see Brian Peake back from Geelong, Jerry Neesham down from Swan Districts, Robbie Solden from East Perth, Chris Main-Waring showed a little bit yesterday from Geraldton, and Tunbridge from Mullawa. And Ron, at the stage, I think, or Harvey, you've got a couple of questions, but didn't show a lot yesterday, but showed a bit or enough there. Maybe they should have won.
Well, Chris Main-Waring had a top game in the night game. I'm not allowed to call it the Foster's Cup because I got Trevor Sprigg on my right here and he works for the Swanberry. So in that night competition in Melbourne, Chris Main-Waring must have really pleased you, Ron. But looking at the credits, Peake and Neesham, I'm interested because on paper, East Fremantle seems to have as good a midfield crop of players as any team in the league. And I'm wondering how you're going to use people like Peake and Neesham and, of course, Renstead.
Well, we really don't want to advertise how we're going to use them throughout the year, but you can use Peake in the centre, you can use Jared Neesham as a ruck rover, you can switch them in and out of the centre, ruck roving with Murray Renstead. Murray Renstead can rove, in fact roved yesterday for part of the game and roved very well. Stephen Green can play in the back pocket, can play on a half-back flank, can play in the centre, can also rove. So we've got a good mixture, and that's what we'll be doing.
Ron, I can see a bit of a problem coming for East Fremantle this year. I think it's up forward where you've probably lacking a little firepower this year. Kevin Taylor, who kicked 4 goals in your grand final last year, is gone. You've lost Jeff Cassidy as well, and I think Darren Bennett, who's currently sidelined with a knee injury, he kicked 4 in your grand final. I think you're going to be a bit short there. What have you done to cover those problems this year?
Well, I share your concern. Darren Bennett is probably 3 or 4 weeks away from playing, but should come into it. Colin Watterson has been playing well at full forward, which has been a bonus, and young David Bushell, who kicked a couple of goals for us on Tuesday night, has been a real find, and I think he'll make his presence felt in the forward line for us.
These big names, Brian Peake for a start, champion of old, coming back to this football. He's got to apply himself, Ron. You think he's capable of doing it? He's capable of doing it, but I think he's got the endeavour.
I think the only thing Brian has to worry about is the press he gets. Now, everybody's going to expect Brian to be best on the ground every week. Now,
so he should be. He's good enough.
Well, I don't think he should be at the age of 32. What I want from Brian Peake is a solid performance. I want him to encourage the youngsters in the side. I want him to be talking the whole time and setting that sort of example.
And playing well.
And playing well, a solid performance. But what people here expect from Brian Peake is that he's best on the ground every week. Now, a lot of people at the age of 32 have hung up their boots.
You haven't, have you?
And have gone into hiding. Perhaps I should have. But some people have gone into hiding. Now, Brian Peake is a very good footballer who will give a solid performance for East Fremantle every week, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the press to leave him alone.
All right, well, we might leave East Fremantle alone too, and that's television, but being part of the media run, but we do wish you all the best. We'll forget yesterday's performance at Wage, and obviously a lot of people tipping you'll be around there at grand final time again, and to all the players, young, old and new. Sorry about the old reference, but good luck for you and